Welcome to Cover Girls in the Church International. This show will cover topics dealing with relationships taken from the book Cover Girls in the Church, written by Dr. Dory McKnight. It is our goal to provide you with information to help you direct your thinking to keep you from repeating the Cover Girl mentality. The Cover Girls message is calling all Cover Girls to come from the secret place. It's time now for Cover Girls in the Church.
Welcome to Cover Girls in the Church Uncovered. I am your host, Dr. Dory McKnight. I will be sharing with you from my book, Cover Girls in the Church, the 11th Commandment, Thou Shalt Not Tell. Well, we're getting ready to tell some things. We're going to be using some characters out of the Bible. And the title of this book sounds very religious, but it is not about religion. It's about relationships. Of course, we're going to share of the goodness of the Lord. We're going to share about the love of the Lord, because we're going to talk about who the girls were that God used to build his church. And some of them we wouldn't have chose to be part of the church if it was up to us. We're going to talk about Eve. Eve, how to be the original you. We're going to talk about Sarah and Hagar, how to birth your own promise, or can you help a sister out? We're going to talk about Rahab. Rahab was a harlot, healing what you're hiding, or the sacrifice for scarlet. We're talking about Abigail. I married a fool. She was married to Nabal, and his name meant fool. Then we're going to talk about Ruth. We're going to talk about the road to recovery, and we're going to talk about Bathsheba, the cost of a cover-up. The reason why we are talking about Cover Girls and we're talking about Cover Girls in the church, most people think that it has something to do with makeup. It has nothing to do with makeup at all, unless you talk about what has made us into the Cover Girls we are. We're going to talk about mentality. We're going to talk about our thinking process. So when you think about Cover Girls operating in the church, what made us Cover Girls? When I was a young girl, my mother used to say, what happens in our house stays in our house. So she kind of made us a Cover Girl. It's talking about covering for people, good, bad, right or wrong, covering for our loved ones, covering for strangers, covering for our family, covering for other people. Covering's a good word. We don't want to say the word lie, but covering is a good word of why we cover. We cover out of fear. We cover out of rejection. We cover because we want people to love us. We don't want to be abandoned. We want to be a part of a group. So there are a lot of reasons why we become Cover Girls. So that's what we're going to talk about and see if we can change some of that thinking, see if we can turn that around. And like I said, some of the Cover Girls that God chose, for instance, Rahab, she's like one of my favorites. Rahab was a harlot. We would have never invited Rahab to come and be part of the church. We would have never made her a Cover Girl. But as we start talking about her life and we go through how God used her, you will see that she is someone that he chose to help. You know, you talk about Joshua fought the battle of Jericho, but there's a story inside that story. That's Rahab's story. Joshua could have come and taken the city, but God used Rahab, a cover girl, to cover for these men that were coming in. She covered for the spies. You know, because she was a harlot, they came in the city and they went to her house. No one said anything about it because they was used to her taking in strange men. So she took in these strange men, but she said, there's something different about you two. There's something different. You know, they didn't come for the regular things that men usually came to see Rahab for. So when they came in, she realized that these were men of God. So she hid them on the roof and told the king she didn't know what happened to them. So she covered the men, and then she also covered by lying to the king as far as what happened to them. She let them down off of a wall with a scarlet rope. Scarlet, the sacrifice for scarlet, it was a hard color to get back in the Bible days. So it talked about how a worm, a mother worm, would embed herself to a tree, and she would be pregnant, and she would embed herself to the tree, and her offspring would receive her blood. As she died, her blood would be transferred to her offspring, and it would go to the bark of a tree, and then they would scrape it off the bark of a tree to get the color red. I liken that story to Christ. He loved us so much that he shed his blood on the cross. He did it for us, his offspring, that we might live, because this mother worm would die just so that her children would live. The sacrifice for scarlet. So she let them down through a window out of her house. But before she did, she cut covenant with these people. She cut covenant with these men. When you come to take the city, Because we know you're going to get it. We know who your God is. We've been hearing all about you. We are afraid of you. We tremble when we hear your name. But when you come to take this city, please remember what I have done for you. And they told her, we will remember you. Everybody that you bring into your home, now Rahab is becoming a covering for those that would have normally died when the children of Israel came to take the city. Everyone that's in your home, if you can't get nobody saved, if you can't get anybody delivered, if you can't help anybody, you have to be able to help those in your home. So she brought in her family members and they said, we're going to destroy the city and all those that are in your house are going to be safe. As a result of that, they came back to take the city. Rahab and her family were saved. She got out. She became part of the line and lineage of David, all the way down into the line and lineage of Jesus Christ. So she became a cover girl. Who would have ever imagined that a harlot would have become a cover girl? So we don't know who God is going to choose. We can't say Rahab is trash. And usually we'll see somebody, a lady of the night, or somebody that's living that lifestyle, and we want to say that they don't stand a chance. But we don't get to choose, because if we go by what happened in the Bible, we would miss God. We would miss God totally if someone walked into the church and said, I want to serve in the church. And Rahab became an evangelist. She got people saved. And as a result, like I said, she was part of the line and lineage of Jesus Christ. And so we can't choose who can or who can be a cover girl. That's all up to God. He is a God of second chances. Now, if you go back to the beginning, and let's talk about Eve a little bit. I'm going to talk a little bit about all these different cover girls, see how many I can get in today's program. But let's talk a little bit about Eve, how to be the original you. She had everything. I mean, Adam was working. He gave her everything. There was nothing that she couldn't. She was in paradise. She had it all. She had the latest, the newest, the most up-to-date everything. But she allowed another voice to come into the garden and tell her, you know what? If you do this, you will be like this. If you eat on those trees. The Bible likens trees unto men. And so let's just kind of say it like he was saying this. If you do like those men over there, if you do what the Joneses are doing, if you try to keep up with this person, if you drive these kind of cars, live in these kind of houses, wear these kind of clothes, then you're going to be better than you already are. Now, she was created in the image of God. Is there any greater thing? And again, her husband is the creator and the invention of everything. You know, no one had anything on him. He was creating it. Whatever he named the animals, whatever he said would manifest. But she allowed another voice to tell her, you're just not enough. Sometimes we allow other voices to come into our paradise. We're happy, and next thing we know, we listen to somebody else that tells us, you know, there's something wrong with you. You would be better. Wear your hair this way. Wear these kind of clothes. You know, you should go to this school. You know, you need to move to this neighborhood. Next thing you know, they're all off. Adam was working. He missed it. Poor brother. He was just trying to, now I want to say he was not only making the bacon, you know, by naming the animals, but he was trying to bring it home. He was so busy working and creating and doing his thing that Eve let somebody else speak to her and then told her, compare yourself to somebody else. Comparison is a sin. Comparing yourself to somebody else is wrong. Because what you're saying to God is, you made a mistake with me. I could be better. I shouldn't be like this. Why wasn't I born in this family? I should have been born in this city. There's so many things I imagine that we say to God, and he's like, it's nothing I can do to make you happy. Well, Eve let another voice tell her, you're not the best you could be, which is a big lie. So she believed the lie. She ate of the fruit, but then what happened was God told Adam and Eve not to eat, but when he came to the garden after it was all said and done and Adam ate the fruit along with Eve, he said to Adam, what have you done? He didn't say to Eve, what have you done? Because he said, I put you here. I told you what to do. I gave you instructions. What did Adam do? He blamed Eve. So Eve became a cover girl for Adam. The mother of all creation became the first cover girl. So he blamed her. He shifted it on her. And he even took it a step further. And he said, the woman you gave me, not only is it her fault, it's your fault because I didn't ask for her. So Adam made Eve a cover girl. So with her story, we have to learn how to be the original us, you know, or the original you. You have to like yourself. If you like you, everybody else is going to like you. But if people detect that you're unsure of who you are, then they'll throw you, and especially if they have any insecurities whatsoever. That's Eve, my sister.